This is the second episode of the Geekdom101 Podcast and one of my favorites of the early ones, as I'm joined by MJxTV, who was an editor for me and a collaborator and longtime friend, as we discuss the most alpha, manly, and badass movies of all time. Movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, the Arnold, the Stallone movies, the ones that you need to see. We talk about them, including some hidden gems too. I think if you love movies, if you like movies for guys who like movies, you will enjoy this podcast. So let's get to it. The original air date was August 21st, 2018. And welcome back to the Geekdom101 Podcast as we discuss the most alpha movies, the most manly movies to put hair on your little nuts and hair on your chest. We're going to talk about the great all-time manly movies that if you're out there, whether you're a man or not, it does not matter. You're going to get enjoyment from these films one way or another, because in many ways we get these movies very rarely. John Wick, Sicario, they exist, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they existed more back in the day. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite manly movies. We're probably not going to be able to fit all of them in this episode because there's so much to talk about, but we'll probably come back and revisit the topic in the future. So joining me today, please welcome, he's been on my channel several times and he has worked with me hand in hand. He's a member of Team Geek and he likes his manly movies because he is Hispanic. MJxTV. Hi, MJ.
I really hope my dad listens to this because he's a fan of alpha movies. He's actually the guy who kind of put me on when it comes to those movies. You know what I'm saying? First Blood, Cobra, etc. You know.
I think all of our dads, from the previous generation, they seem to have good taste when it came to these movies because the previous generation didn't give a fuck. But also, I can't speak for your family, but my family came. We were immigrants. We came from Cuba. We weren't born here, and when you come from Cuba, when you come from another country, and you don't speak the language, if you don't speak English, the movies that you can watch get limited a bit because even though there are subtitles, obviously, not every American movie is subbed. Now, I'm talking about back during the VHS era. Obviously, nowadays, if you go out and buy a DVD or a Blu-ray, every DVD and Blu-ray has, English, Spanish, and French subs. Yeah, all of them. But back then, to get a subtitle VHS tape, it was a different tape. You couldn't just push a button and turn the subs on. So, when you're a foreigner and you don't speak the language, you tend to go for movies that you can understand. So when I was a kid, I obviously grew up on movies like Tiburón, a.k.a. Jaws, Steven Seagal movies, the Police Academy movies, of course, which were comedies, but a lot of it was slapstick, and manly movies like this because, again, you don't have to speak the language to really understand what's going on. Like, take Predator, for example. We'll start with Predator. Predator... You don't need to speak the language to understand and like Predator, but it's a movie where if you do speak the language, it makes it that much better.
You mentioned in the beginning that we do get a few films nowadays that capture what makes an alpha movie or just a badass movie in general. I remember I was on YouTube and I went to go watch a small clip of Predator because I didn't feel like going to go to my my DVD set and pop it into my PS4. So I was watching, a small little clip, and that handshake in the beginning, I remember
with the biceps.
With the biceps, I remember the top comment of that video was, "This 5-second scene alone is more alpha than anything 2017 has produced."
It's true, bro. It's true.
So
you son of a bitch. And then, not just that, but just Jesse Ventura, bro. Jesse Ventura, I ain't got time to bleed. What? He's alpha in real life, and he's alpha in the film. And again, the sequels are pretty good. I like Predator 2. Predators was fine. Alien vs. Predator can fuck off. And there's a new Predator, obviously, coming out this year, which I think is going to tie into the same universe. It's not a reboot, right?
I don't believe so. I'm not actually interested in, though. I watched the trailer, and I can't really give any fucks about it, but that's just me.
Well, Shane Black was in this movie, Rick Hawkins or whatever, in the first one. He's going to be directing it. But what about our boy Sonny Landham, bro, as Billy Soul? Remember the stories about this guy? Supposedly on set, this man was so out of his mind. And he just died last year, which is unfortunate. Right. he was so out of his mind that they had to keep him away from all the other actors, bro, because he was completely out of his fucking mind, bro. That's what I heard.
Oh my god, man! And what's funny is looking back at it now. I wasn't around during that era or that time period, so I don't know how people, I guess, took him as a character. But now, if you just watch that movie and you see people on social media, a lot of people like him, I guess, because of how he went out. Like he kind of went out like a badass, you know, where he took off his shit, sliced his chest or whatever, right, and called the Predator out, bro. That's a badass way to go.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Not just that, but also, let's not forget Bill Duke, bro, one of our favorites, bro, as Mac Elliott. Bill Duke, of course, the most iconic thing Bill Duke ever did was in Menace to Society.
Menace to Society, which I actually just did a rewatch tonight with a couple of our friends, and
Gohan and Maria.
Gohan loved the movie,
dude.
and
Maria has no taste. I know. But no, it's just funny because Bill Duke. Well, your dad has good taste in Maria. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But Bill Duke, bro, in that movie, remember? Hey, you know you fucked up, right? You just fucked up. You know that, don't you? Like, you know. And then of course in Commando when he's like, I'm a Green Beret. I eat Green Berets for breakfast. There's that fucking scene. Fuck you, asshole. Fuck you, asshole. Like, I love Bill Duke in these movies, bro. And he's so dark, man. He's a scary black man. But no, he's, I love that actor. No, dude, Predator is like, I mean, again, the sequels are pretty good too, bro. Like Predator 2 with Danny Glover in it, bro. Like, and don't forget, this is during the era of, like, Stan Winston doing the fucking puppeteering and shit. And don't forget, also, Peter Cullen does the voice of the Predator, bro.
What's funny about Glover, bro, is he's also from an Alpha series, bro. Lethal Weapon, dog.
Of course, bro. Well, we may discuss that on a separate fucking video. I'm over here thinking video on a separate podcast. Now, no, I mean, but like that movie, like, and it's so alpha because by the end of the film, you know, it ends with a man-to-man showdown with Arnold, you know, and the Predator. You know, Dutch against the Predator. And it's funny because it really is like technology versus like savagery. And Arnold's all ripped to shreds. This is like 80s Arnold. And they're having that epic fight. And, you know, he's like doing the ho, 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 ho. But I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but that's just a great overall film, dude. Like, I'm a mark for movies where you take a group of people and they go into like a quest or like a journey, and only a few of them make it out, bro. Like, for example, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 with Kincaid, bro. That's how that movie is.
Shout out to the boy, you know, T-Dub, like, bro.
Yes, T-Dub, shout out. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that, like, you know what I mean? Those Entourage movies where they have to go in and only a few make it out. Sort of like Reservoir Dogs, except what Tarantino did with that movie was he cut out the entire heist. We just saw, like, bits and pieces of what
we saw, like, the aftermath of it, which in a way I kind of did appreciate because it made it different, right? So, you know, it wasn't the typical heist movie, you know, so I did like that about that. But yeah, go.
No, I was gonna say he called it the heist movie without the heist.
Exactly. But going back to Predator, you know, before we move on, I just think any movie with Arnold, bro, it's like I said earlier,
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, even if the plot is kind of ass, you know, which is debatable on his films, you still get enjoyable lines. You're gonna get some enjoyable action. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with my dad. You know, he introduced me to all those movies. The same with Stallone. Over the top, bro. You know, Cobra, like you said off air. It's just so many movies from that generation that are just badass. You know.
Yeah, and I think that, like I said, foreigners tend to gravitate towards those movies. I mean, let's not forget Conan the Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't forget The Sixth Day, bro, with Arnold. We gotta talk about that movie someday. I was cloned and I had to get back my stolen identity. That's a great fucking movie, bro. The Sixth Day. You seen that movie,
I've seen that. Also seen In the Days too, bro.
Where he plays the movie Jericho Kane.
Jericho Kane, bro.
What popped me, bro, is you remember The Expendables, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, that movie pretty much, and now we should talk about that real quick. The Expendables franchise is pretty much like this podcast. Like, the Expendables franchise is pretty much like, it's pretty much like they're sort of parodying but doing a tribute to these kind of movies. You know?
In a way, I really hate to bring up Dragon Ball here, but it's kind of like the Tournament of Power. Like, you have all these different entities from their own stories coming together, and obviously there's no connection. They're playing different characters, but you got people like Jet Li, bro. You know, from his own set of action films,
Alpha movies.
You know,
Statham.
Statham
Statham was huge in the 2000s, bro. You know, this year it's the freaking The Meg, bro. Dog, I have seen trailers for The Meg in every single movie I've watched this year, bro, and I'm tired of it. I am tired of the Meg trailers, bro. It's Megalodon. And you don't know if the movie's supposed to be a comedy or not, because they have that stupid little music in it, too. Like,
remember, bro, Jet Li was in Cradle to the Grave, dog, with your boy DMX.
DMX, of course, bro. And Romeo Must Die. Remember, if DMX is in a movie, it's mandatory he play a badass.
Right.
With a gun, bro.
With the gun, bro.
With the gun. So in Expendables, right, when Arnold comes out, and it's freaking, it's you know, he comes out and it's, you know, Trench Mauser, which is a freaking great name. He comes out and he's like, got his arms out and he's like, you know, and then at the end, Arnold, Stallone's like, he wants to be president. Like, I love it. Don't forget that the thing about Expendables is, you know, the way that Stallone writes these movies, he always comes up with names that are puns, and it's always wacky, like Lee Christmas, Yin Yang, Gunnar Jensen, freaking Toll Road, you know, and then you got Hail Caesar, which is Terry Crews' character. Like, you know, it's like, come on, bro, like.
No, I get you on that. The purpose. Puns, bro. But that still pops me though.
Oh, don't forget, bro. You got Tommy the Gun Morrison or whatever. What's his name? No, Tommy Duke. Tommy the Gun Duke in the movie was Tommy Morrison in real life. And then you've got Mason Dixon and Rocky Balboa, bro.
Remember, bro, in the very first one, bro, we had Harrison Ford, Wesley Snipes, dog, who had his own set of movies. I can't remember. What was...
No, Harrison Ford was in the second one.
The second one.
Was it the second one or was it the third one? No, it might have been the third one. The third one was Harrison Ford.
Are you sure?
Expendables 3.
I couldn't remember it was one of the earlier ones, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, it was 3, yeah.
But Wesley Snipes, bro, with your boy Stallone. What was that movie, bro? Was it Demolition Man or am I thinking Demolition Man, bro?
Yeah, Demolition Man. And don't forget Bruce Willis, Mr. Church, and then of course Jean-Claude Van Damme, fucking as Jean Villain, and then he had an interview where he said that for part 3. He was going to come back as his twin brother, Claude Villain, and it never happened, bro. I was really hoping it would.
Man, it's just...
Then don't forget, they brought in Liam Hemsworth to play Billy the Kid, and he ends up being the one character that gets killed, bro. They buried the young talent and put over the old guys in part 2, bro. And Chuck Norris, bro. Booker? You know...
Even Mel Gibson was a part of that franchise, bro, and again, somebody from the older era, you know, so.
And he was under hot fire at the time, if I remember correctly.
I believe so, yeah, but then again, when isn't he on under hot fire, bro?
I guess that's true, right? So then we have, now you sent me a list of movies you wanted to talk about, and the first one on here is Streets of Fire. I haven't seen this movie yet, and I feel like I should, because it's got Diane Lane and freaking Michael Pare, like, and Rick Moranis, of course, one of my favorites. Tell us about this movie, because I haven't seen this movie yet.
Basically, it's somebody who comes back to town, right, and he's hired because he's there. He ends up meeting somebody who hires him to rescue his ex-girlfriend. Now, what's funny about this, bro, is Rick Moranis is actually dating Diane Lane, and they try to make him like a badass, which I understand, but to me the movie is just comedy gold, and it's alpha to me, bro. It's a movie that came out in 1984, and it's an 80s film, and funny enough, again, it's a movie my dad showed me, and I saw it just a few years back. I was actually telling you on a call one night, me and you were talking about like alpha quotes, right? And I was telling you that one quote that's so badass in the beginning where he was like, I used to be a soldier up until last year. They go, why? He goes, I ran out of wars.
I love it, bro. Now, that movie's directed by Walter Hill, who also did movies like fucking The Warriors.
Yes.
48 Hours.
Yes.
Yeah, he did some Tales from the Crypt. So that dude's definitely got an impressive resume of badass alpha movies that I like, bro.
It's definitely something, like, I don't want to spoil it for you because it's just one of those movies that I feel like is kind of underrated, and you really have to be a fan of that era of films to really kind of, I guess, remember it. It's not like Big Trouble in Little China where that bombed in its era, but then now it's a cult classic and it has a cult following. You know what I mean? This film doesn't have that,
right.
So you have to really know about it to go check it out. And I highly recommend it. It's called Streets of Fire, and I think it's something you'll all love, man. I mean, it's got our boy, bro. Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name right now. Got our boy William Dafoe, bro.
That's always a treat. The ugliest, most handsome man ever, bro. You know?
Plays the villain, but again, bro, it's just one of those movies.
And Bill Paxton's in it, bro. The Pax.
Bill Pax, bro.
You know what? You sold me on this movie, bro. I'm gonna get it. I've never seen it before. Now, don't forget, Walter Hill did another alpha movie called Johnny Handsome with with Mickey Rourke, bro.
That's right. Another one. I told you the other day. I just got done watching Harley, bro.
With Mickey
Rourke, baby.
Bro, he was also in Expendables 1, bro. Don't forget, bro, this man had 2 comebacks and ruined both of them, bro. He came back in 1990 and he came back in 2008 for Expendables and Iron Man and The Wrestler. And he was on his way to being a big star again, and he just stopped making movies. I mean, don't forget, this is the man who went into a 3D movie, and they're like, Mr. Rourke, don't forget your glasses. And he's like, no, I'm all right. Then when he walked out of the movie theater, he complained that the movie was too blurry and he couldn't see anything. Mickey Rourke, bro. Don't forget the story at WrestleMania, bro, where he shows up with Frank Shamrock. And then Vince, I don't know if you know this story, but he's at WrestleMania to do that angle with Jericho at WrestleMania 25.
Right.
And he's there with Frank Shamrock, right? You know, former UFC champion, like one of the scariest men on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince McMahon tells him, he's like, listen, if Rourke tries to shoot on you, I'll come out and I'll take care of the little guy. And Jericho's like, you mean Frank? Like that guy Frank? Yeah, I'll take care of him. Because Vince had no idea that was Frank Shamrock, bro. He just saw how small he was and he was like, oh, a piece of cake. Yeah, and don't forget, Mickey Rourke is alpha because he quit doing movies to go box, bro. He went to go be a boxer.
Oh my God, bro. Mickey Rourke, dog.
So let's talk about Cobra, bro. Like we put that on the list as well. You had forgotten about it and I added it. I think Cobra's a movie that's underrated by a lot of Stallone fans even. Oh, I mean not Stallone fans, maybe not Stallone fans, but like I think this movie gets swept under the rug a bit too much, bro.
Well, when you got the First Bloods and the Rockies, I guess understand why. I guess casuals, would that be the right word to say?
I guess, but I mean, Stallone's got a whole resume. Remember Copland? That's another alpha movie,
what's
bro.
His face?
Bobby De Niro's in that movie.
De Niro. Who else?
Remember Paradise Alley with Terry Funk?
What's the guy's name from Goodfellas? 'Cause he's in Copland too.
You talk about
Always forget his name.
You talk about what's his name?
I could just look it up. I'm right here on the computer. I don't know why I'm stuttering.
No, you're talking about Ray Liotta.
There we go. Yeah.
And Harvey Keitel, bro. 4 alphas,
exactly, bro.
You can't go wrong with Copland. So talk about Cobra.
Well, with Cobra, bro, again, you can't go wrong with Stallone. It's one of those old films from the 80s that I think if you haven't seen it yet, you really are kind of... I don't know what you're doing with your life, bro, if you haven't seen this movie yet. Directed...
Lieutenant Marion Cabretti, bro. And I like how the villains in the movies... The villains in the movie it's called The New World, bro. That's awesome to me.
The New World, bro. New World Order. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the New World Order, bro.
You got Brian Thompson, bro, as a night slasher, dog. No, but
it's like a comic book movie for a comic book movie, bro.
I was telling you before we started recording when you reminded me of it. Like that whole beginning of the film, bro, is just badass when he shows up on the bike, dog. He goes into the store and he tells them,
Yeah, in the store.
He tells them, "You're a disease and I'm the cure." You know what I'm saying? I don't kill psychos. I put them away or something like that, bro. That whole beginning, bro. Talk about a good beginning to a movie, dog. I agree with you, bro. I do think it's underrated. I hardly ever see this mentioned as far as like the Stallone top films. Maybe it isn't a top film, but I do think it needs to be more appreciated.
Now, speaking of movies like this, like, you know, quasi-vigilante movies, bro, you know, in 2018, we saw the remake of Death Wish. Did you see that movie, by the way?
I did not see it, but I saw your spoiler-free review, and you said that it was pretty good, so...
It was fine. It was just very... Like, the movie changes what it is halfway through, bro, because, like, the first half of the movie's, like, deathly serious. Then the second half, and we're talking about the 2018 Death Wish, it's an Eli Roth movie. The second half is just like a clown show. Like, there's a scene where he kills a dude by dropping a car on him. Like, you know, and it's so, like, over the top stupid. Like, there's a blood cache everywhere. I don't know if I'm watching, like, you know, Evil Dead 2 or something like that. And that's another alpha movie.
Are you supposed to take this reboot or remake, whatever it is, as like a different film altogether? Like, is the atmosphere still the same? Is it like dark and gritty as the first one?
Not really.
Or the original, excuse me.
Yeah, the original. No, it really isn't. I mean, it tries to be at first, and there is good stuff in the movie. Like, Bruce Willis is pretty good in the movie, you know, and he is kind of like learning kind of how things go, but it definitely isn't as gritty. The first movie is very gritty. I mean, I bought that movie on Steelbook Blu-ray, and even though it looks really nice the way they remastered it, it's still extremely gritty, you know. And don't forget that what makes that movie great is, you know, obviously Charles Bronson, just his performance, bro. Like, he's not really a man of many words, but you could tell he's a loving man. But he's also a man who doesn't give a fuck, and that's really what a great. Like, again, it's another one of those vigilante revenge movies. There's all the Stallone movies, half the Norris movies, and Taken. They're all kind of the same, where a guy has to take the law into his own hands because the cops are taking too long to solve the mystery, and he's like, "Fuck it, bro," and then he becomes kind of addicted to becoming a crime fighter.
Exactly. They go after it because they want to get their own justice. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't feel like they're ever gonna get it. You know, so. I mean, I'm a mark for those films, bro. They got a certain charm to them. It's like what you said earlier, where the group comes together and then they kind of get picked off throughout the film, like whatever journey they go through. There's charms about those type of movies, you know. The Vigilante's one of them. That's why they keep doing them. It's a trope, you know.
And obviously in the real world, and the thing about Death Wish, the new one, is that it is grounded in the modern era. So there's, like, you know, technology like iPhone cameras, you know, things like that, security cameras, and they have, like, you know, people talking about, like, radio people. Like, I think Sway is on that, bro. He's in the movie from Sway and Tech, or maybe that was King Tech. I can't tell them apart. But anyways, that was Sway. But he's in the movie, and then, like, you know, they have, like, the news bulletins. Then they have, like, on the news they have, like, a discussion about whether or not the vigilante is, you know, Paul Kersey, whether or not he's in the right. But the thing about the new movie is that it doesn't really have, like, the rape. And the first movie had, like, you know, his family was killed and raped.
Right.
You know, in this movie, it wasn't. They sort of teased it, but not really. Like, they teased they were going to go in that direction. And, of course, one of the rapists in the first movie is our boy Jeff Goldblum, bro. That's one of our... I want to put my tongue in her ass! Or whatever the fuck he says, bro, in that movie, bro. You know, like...
Jeff Goldblum, bro. Oh, man. Oh...
Classic, bro. Like, I mean, there's the first movie, and the thing is, it's like when people talk about these movies, bro, you know, like, they're movies that, like, when Death Wish 2018 came out, people were saying that it was very bad timing because of the shootings going on. But when is a good time to put these movies out? There's always some BS going on in the world, man. You know,
and there's always something. You know what I mean? And I hate to say that, but there is always like a tragedy or something going on in some parts of the world. So it's like, when is it a good time? You're right. I think you should just release it whenever. At least it's my opinion, and you agree with me on that. So,
how do you feel about the Death Wish sequels, bro? Because they start getting more and more wacky. I mean, the second movie ends up getting released by Canon Films, and anything Canon puts out is wacky, bro. I think that was Canon Films, right? The second one?
I've actually never seen I've seen parts of the second one, but I actually haven't seen, like, the entire film all the way through, to be honest with you.
I like how in the second one Larry Fishburne's in it, but they credit him as Lawrence Fishburne III.
Well, I actually want to ask you something real quick. It's a bit off topic, but when you mentioned our boy Jeff, bro, I was actually thinking of Deep Cover, bro. Remember that movie?
That's
Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, Deep Cover, bro. That's the movie that made the movie that pretty much made Snoop Dogg, because they made that song with Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and you don't stop. It's a 187 on the undercover cop. Creep with me as I crawl through the hood. Maniac, lunatic, call him Snoop Eastwood. He was dope back then, bro. Like when Snoop first came out, bro, he was the shit. He kind of fell off. I would say after probably the Dogfather or maybe the first No Limit album, he kind of fell off. I mean, he came back a couple times with a couple of good songs here and there, but he never really made great like albums, bro. He became like a meme.
They were basically just songs that were on the charts, but they were just singles, you know, and that was basically it, you know. His albums weren't that good.
Yeah, his albums, man, they weren't that good. You mentioned Terminator. Now, the thing that makes Terminator Alpha, bro, is the alpha in that movie isn't Arnold, even though he is the star. The alpha in that movie is fucking Kyle Reese, bro.
You've gone on tangents about this. I can vouch for you, bro. You've gone on these long tangents about why he's the best part about that film, bro.
This man goes back in time, bro, and fucks his best friend's mom, becoming his father, bro. I mean,
oh my god.
I don't even know if that's even alpha, because it's almost kind of wrong in a way.
That's always been one of those things growing up, because I saw that movie when I was younger. There's always been one of those things that kind of mind fucked me, was that time travel stuff. It's like he goes back and fucks his friend's mom, bro.
And happens to knock her up on the first try. Don't forget that, bro. Like, sometimes you don't get a chick pregnant the first try. You gotta try for a couple weeks or a couple years. But he fucking did it on the first try, bro. A hole in one.
Right. When you ranted about the film, bro, you went on and on about the police station scene.
Well, there's a couple of them, bro. Like, you know, Arnold does what he can in the movie. You know, when that guy's like knocking on the door and you see the Terminator reading, "Fuck you, asshole." That scene is great. You know, just the beginning of the movie, bro, with freaking the Pax again making a cameo. Nice night for a walk, huh? Nice night for a walk. Wash day tomorrow. Nothing clean, right? Nothing clean, right? Hey, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack. Your clothes. Give them to me. Fuck you, asshole. And he kills him, bro.
Oh, man. Kyle Reese,
I mean, that's
bro.
There's little things in that movie, too, bro. Like, when Sarah Connor's serving the food in the restaurant, the baby takes a scoop of ice cream and puts it in her pocket. That shit's funny, bro.
The little things like that, bro. Like, that's one of the cool things about a lot of those films back then, is that even if they were like very action heavy or had kind of like a dark, gritty atmosphere, like there was still some comedy sprinkled in where
it's dark comedy.
Whereas now
it's stuff that pops people like us.
Whereas nowadays, I feel like there's a bit too much comedy in films, even in the action ones. That's just me, though. You know.
It's become more like, let's do one-liners versus it being like natural, organic, dark comedy.
Right.
Like, for example, like another alpha in that movie is the pawn shop fucking clerk, bro. Right? 48 long slide with laser sighting. These are brand new. We just got them in. That's a good gun. And then Arnold's looking at it. He's like, just touch the trigger. The beam comes on. You put the red dot where you want the bullet to go. You can't miss. And then Arnold goes, phase plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. Just what you see, pal. And it's like, Arnold's asking him about weapons that haven't been invented yet, bro. The phase plasma rifle. You know your weapons, buddy. Any one of these is ideal for home defense. So which will it be? All. And then he goes, I'm at Clothori today. 15-day wait on the handguns. You can't do that. Wrong.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah, the scene you're talking about, bro, is the Sarah. He was going through, and then don't forget Paul Winfield, the alpha, bro. Paul Winfield and Lance Hendrickson are in that movie. That movie's filled with alphas, bro. Oh, everyone in that movie's alpha. Even Sarah Connor becomes alpha at the end. You're a Terminator fucker. Like when he's going through and killing everybody, they're like, he's a goddamn phone book killer. Remember when her roommate's boyfriend's laying down and he comes in and he's gonna punch the pillow? He goes, whoa, and he misses it. Then he grabs the lamp and goes, "Don't make me bust you up, man."
The fucking boyfriend. I like how I love that whole scene, bro. Fuck the dude up while she was making a sandwich, bro, after sex, dog.
Right.
I actually want to pop you right now, bro. For the people who are listening, I did not write this down in our notes. This is off the cuff. I just remember this movie. 1989, dog. Roadhouse. With your
of course, with Patrick Swayze.
Patrick
Alpha,
Swayze, bro. That's another movie that my dad showed me as a kid, and I remember, bro, that one fucking part. I used to fuck guys like you in prison. Oh my god, bro! My fucking Patrick Swayze, bro. Dalton, dog. And that whole movie, dog. I know we're just talking about one-liners and shit, but that movie has so many one-liners. Bro, that's that one scene where when that chick's walking, he's like, "That girl's got entirely too many brains to have an ass like that."
I love that fucking.
That's
movie,
such an
bro.
alpha movie.
I have not seen that movie in 10 years, dude. I gotta watch that movie again.
You know what, bro? We need to do a watch together of that movie, bro. Maria, if you're listening to this, I don't give a fuck if you didn't like the last two I showed you.
No, she doesn't have any taste, bro. Oh, if it's not Frozen, I like Disney. I'll watch a Disney movie. Why don't you guys watch the movies that I like? Like, fuck, dude. Nobody wants to sit here and watch fucking Frozen 100 times, bro. Be the good girl you always meant to be. Fuck, man. She's probably listening to us, like, at her job, bro, with her sexy little fucking, that sexy nurse outfit she wears or whatever. I always tell her that. She's like, "No, I don't wear that." I'm like, "Well, you're a nurse, aren't you?" She's a doctor's assistant. What's the difference between that and being a nurse, bro?
Between that and a nurse?
It's the same shit, right? Aren't nurses doctor's assistants? Yeah. So the scene I think you were talking about that I popped for in Terminator was that fucking, you know, did you bring any ray guns and shit? And then fucking he's like, "You go naked. Something about the field generated by a living organism." And he's like, "Why?" "I didn't build the fucking thing." I love that line, bro. And he's like, "But the cyborg, if it's metal, surrounded by living tissue." Oh, right. And then he tells the cops, he's like, "Yeah, this guy's just making all this up, but it's brilliant." Like, he's talking about how people who are delusional usually have, like, intricate ideas, but this is brilliant. It doesn't require a shed of proof. It's fucked up, but they didn't believe him, bro.
Oh, man.
Why am I talking to you? Who is in authority here? Shut up! You still don't get it, do you? He'll find her. That's what he does. That's all he does. You can't stop him. He'll wade through you, reach down her throat and pull her fucking heart out. And then she's like, "Is Reese crazy?" "Well, in technical terms, he's a loon." What a great, bro. Michael Biehn. And don't forget the other 80s classic with fucking Michael Biehn, bro, and Lance Hendrickson and James Cameron's Aliens, bro. What a masterpiece. And that has an alpha woman in it, Sigourney Weaver, bro.
Right.
Ellen Ripley.
You know what's kind of trippy, bro? I was, I was listening to you talk about Michael Biehn, and I started to type the name in on Google. All I had to type in was the first letter M, and the name had already popped up. So, for all those people out there who think our computers are listening to us,
bro, they are listening. I have had that, dog. I went to a restaurant with my friend. I'm not gonna say his name, and we went to eat, and we talked about like gyros. Sorry, Maria, they're called gyros, and all of a sudden he opens up his phone and he goes to Facebook and there's a bunch of ads for gyros. He never Googled it, never looked it up. I think they're listening, bro. Let me try that right now, bro. Michael Biehn. Hold on. No, it's not happening to me,
for you?
bro. Nope. In fact, if I type in Michael, I get Michael B. Jordan and then Michael Biehn right below. And then
Michael B. Jordan, bro.
Yeah, he's kind of alpha. I mean, he's been in some alpha. I mean, Creed
Is
was
this
alpha.
your king?
All the Rocky movies.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's alpha. I mean, he's alpha in that movie. Remember, he won.
He won, yeah. He did.
He won.
He won.
Now, the other like alpha director that we've talked about before, you mentioned John Carpenter, bro. Pretty much everything he puts out is alpha, bro. Like the guy, he went on a streak in the 80s of nothing but quality movies. And right here on the list, you wrote Escape from New York, bro. Like that's just one, because you also wrote They Live on here. Like, would you consider those two to be his most alpha films? Because it's really hard, bro, to pick when it comes to Carpenter.
I would say They Live is his most alpha, but I think his overall, as far as entertainment value goes for me personally, would be Big Trouble in Little China. I think that overall is my favorite film of his on a purely entertainment aspect, but the most alpha is They Live, bro, with our boy, dog.
Roddy Piper, bro.
Roddy
I
Piper.
came to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
And it had the best fight in history, too, bro. That lasted forever.
No, and also don't forget that that was Keith David played that guy, bro. Mm-hmm. And that movie's deep too, bro. I mean, without going into conspiracy territory, that movie really it really kind of told us that we're really not in control, at all.
Right. Well,
also,
let me ask you though.
The thing is also alpha too, bro.
Well, I mean, that goes back to what you're saying. This dude was just dropping bombs, dog. Like, his films...
Assault on Precinct 13.
Mm-hmm. Prince of Darkness is another one I like.
I've never seen Prince of Darkness. That's the only Carpenter movie I haven't seen from that era. I have not seen Prince of Darkness, bro.
It's pretty good. I don't think it got raving reviews back in the day, but I think it's kind of aged with time. But I was going to ask you, like, what's your favorite of his, like, as far as, like, I guess being an alpha movie? Like, do you prefer Escape from New York, or do you prefer They Live? Like,
I think They Live is my favorite. My favorite of his is probably Halloween, like, all time, but I think my favorite alpha movie that fits in the category probably is They Live. Yeah, I would say that. He also made Ghosts of Mars, bro, which I saw in movie theaters.
Your boy, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, bro. Mean mugging on the cover, bro. He's mean mugging on the damn cover, bro. Ghosts of Mars wasn't really a terrible movie or anything either, though. Like it was just, and Jason Statham too, but it was okay. I didn't think it was a terrible film at all. Like, I think it got a lot of shit. I know it flopped. It did like 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. I looked it up right now. Like, I like that movie. I mean, I don't. Let me take it back. I watched that movie in theaters when I was like 17, right? Mm-hmm. I might not like it anymore, but I liked it back then. I didn't love it, but I thought it was okay.
I mean, it's funny. It's clearly a step down from his, his stuff, I guess, when he was a bit younger. But overall, I don't.
Did you ever see Starman?
Starman. Maybe.
Like,
let me look it up.
The Alien one, the Voyager 2 movie. I never saw it. I'm only Starman and fucking Prince of Darkness are the only movies I haven't seen from that era, bro.
No, I never seen it. There's also the other one that I don't think I've ever seen of his. What's that one that he did? In the Mouth of Madness, bro. That one, I never saw that one either.
Well, that was in the 90s. Like, a lot of people think that the 90s Carpenter was trash. I mean, I don't know about trash. It definitely was a step down, though.
Well, remember also in the 90s, Vampires came out, too. Remember that one?
Yeah, and of course, Escape from L.A., I don't understand Escape from L.A., bro. Is Escape from L.A. a sequel or a remake? Because I feel like it's like a remake.
I can't remember.
Like, they don't mention anything from the first movie.
It's been a while since I've seen Escape from L.A. because I've only seen it once. It's not like New York where I watched it over and over,
Yeah, I've only seen it once. Like, I actually saw it when it first came out. I think I may have seen Escape from L.A. before Escape from New York, bro.
I mean, but all you had to do is just Google Carpenter, and you look at the years of those movies. You got The Fog, Christine, Escape from New York, They Live. Like, those are all the films in the 80s, the thing. And then you get to the 90s.
No, The Fog was 2005. Oh, you mean that's right, the original Fog.
The original. Whereas, like, in the 90s, you got those other films, like In the Mouth of Madness and Vampires and stuff. And I mean, I can understand why people, I guess give him shit for that. It's kind of like Wes Craven, bro. Remember, people kind of give Craven shit because remember around the 96 period, 95 period, he started doing that meta bullshit with Scream and New Nightmare,
Yeah. I mean, that's
a totally different topic, but it's,
That's a good topic for a different episode, but yeah, well, I mean, when he died, when Wes Craven, we lost Wes Craven recently, bro, and we lost. Did Carpenter die? No, Carpenter didn't die, right? Okay, no. We lost Wes Craven though. Like that was a bummer, bro. But Scream was definitely meta, but I think New Nightmare was like a new level of meta, bro.
It was ridiculous in my opinion.
I thought it was too.
Right.
Now, of course, you mentioned Scarface. I mean, it's weird. That movie, you know what's weird about Scarface is, like, ever since I was a kid, people were saying, like, you know, Scarface is overrated. And I feel like it's not, it's so overrated that it's kind of become underrated. Like, the more times I watch that movie, the more I love it, bro. Like, and we could do a whole topic on Scarface, bro. I don't even know if I want to talk too deep about it, but
That movie's very
like,
deep. Like when you think about the character's background, Tony. When you think about his background, the reasoning to why he is the way he is when he comes to America. I'm not trying to say it makes sense or justify what the character did, but I mean, there's a meaning to a lot of the shit that happens. There's a lot of subliminal stuff that happened that me and you talked about. So, we could do a whole breakdown on that movie. You know what I mean, in the future.
No, definitely. No, it's just interesting because when you watch that movie, it's one of those things where it's like, and obviously everybody, this is not like some kind of revelation or anything, but he really ruined his own life. You know, he made him and Manny, it was really both of them. Manny kind of helped him out, like kind of made him who he was. And once Manny was gone, there was nothing left. Like, I've seen some fucking dumb motherfucker say some stupid fucking shit. Some real dumb fuck say shit like, oh, if Manny had not died, Tony would have been alright. I don't think so, bro. I mean, maybe Manny could have, like, helped Tony escape, but Manny and Tony couldn't have taken on Sosa's fucking hit squad. It's just impossible, bro. Like,
the only way I think that would have helped him is the fact that when he comes back after killing Manny, he's fucked up. Like, killing Manny really affected him, and maybe you could headcanon that he wouldn't have done as much coke as he did, or he wouldn't have been as fucked up as he did. So they probably would have escaped, but that's it. I mean, I don't know why they think Manny's Superman, bro, and he's gonna one shot the hit squad or something.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Right? But I think Manny would have probably tried to smarten up Tony and been like, "Look, we gotta go, man. They're gonna bring the hit squad." Like, in other words, I feel like what would have wound up happening, and we should do a whole fucking video, or maybe not even a video. We should do a whole video on. Did I just say maybe not video? We should do a video.
Yeah.
I'm all fucked up. A podcast or whatever on what if Manny survived.
Right.
Because I think Manny would have probably told Tony, we gotta, and then, like, he probably would have been on the run for the majority of his life, bro. Or maybe he would have never answered the phone and cussed out fucking Sosa. Maybe he would have worked something out, you know? Instead of, because remember, Sosa's like, you know, I told you not to fuck me, you cacaroche. Hey, you wanna go to war? You wanna go to war? Whereas I feel like if he talked to Sosa and was like, calm down, let's figure something out, maybe Sosa wouldn't have rushed to kill him so fast.
He would have called off the head, right? Or something like that.
I mean, maybe he wouldn't have rushed to kill him so fast. Maybe he would have just talked it out, yeah, and you know, maybe figure something out. Our friend has security up the ass. You know?
No, but yeah, I agree with you. That whole movie, bro, it's like you can do a whole breakdown on it because, I mean, like we said, there's just like a lot of possibilities when it comes to that movie because, like, there's also the whole thing with, like, I was telling you about this earlier. I don't know if this was intentional, probably not, but I picked up on it, and that was when what's his face, when Tony is at Sosa for the very first time and they're eating, in the background you see the guy who killed Tony and
he's also the guy who hung Omar Suarez.
Exactly, and the conversation that I find very fucking hilarious is that Omar and Tony are arguing about who's supposed to have whose back. And what I find funny about that is in the background of that scene, you see the guy who kills Tony at the end, because at the end he had nobody to have his back. You know what I mean? What you were talking about. So it's very deep, bro. That movie's a good movie, bro. You know?
It's very, very, like, yeah, all the rappers like it and all that, but it's a good film. Now, Die Hard. You also have this on the list, and I kind of agree with that. The sequels, I love Die Hard 2 and Die Hard 3. Die Hard 4 was okay, and Die Hard 5 was also like just kind of okay, but 1, 2, and 3 are just classics. But that first Die Hard movie, I mean, I consider it a Christmas movie.
What's funny about Die Hard, bro, is because you were actually telling me our boy Mike had hit you up to tell you that Skyscraper was probably one of the worst, if not the worst movie he's ever seen. And what I find funny...
No, he didn't say that. He said it was very bad. I don't know about what
Oh,
the worst
I thought...
movie.
Remember, I may have been exaggerating it, but what I find funny...
I think you are, bro. No, let me actually read you exactly what he told me
Okay,
that day. Hold on. He said... Hold on. He says Skyscraper... Oh, no. Okay, he said, Skyscraper might be the worst movie I've seen all year. Not only was it boring and predictable, but so much happened that made absolutely no sense. Imagine some of the stupid shit in Prometheus for an entire movie. It's a rock vehicle. This one crashed into the wall. Watching the movie, though, it's clear that this is targeted toward Chinese audiences. The whole movie is like Transformers 3 levels of Chinese pandering. Mike is funny sometimes, bro. Not all the time, sometimes.
But
maybe I'll get him on here.
Where I was getting with that was that on Instagram, The Rock had mentioned that Skyscraper kind of takes elements from Die Hard, and I was just making a joke about, I guess he didn't take the good parts. You know what I mean? No, I'm not trying to shit on our boy Dwayne Johnson, though. Obviously, it's funny.
I mean, Alan Rickman, dog, the fucking villain, bro. And don't forget Officer Carl Winslow, bro.
Bro.
Reginald Vell Johnson. He's always playing a cop, bro. He's the cop on Family Matters. He's the cop in this movie, and he's the cop in Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. The man wants to see you guys.
Family Matters and Ghostbusters being something we both love a lot, bro.
Yeah, maybe we should do a whole fucking video on fucking or podcast. I keep saying, I'm so used to making videos. Podcast on fucking on Family Matters, bro.
Yeah.
When did Family Matters jump the shark, bro?
And how wacky it got towards the end, right?
When I told you, bro, the series legit blew chunks when Carl and Steve went back in time to fight pirates. And don't forget when Steve Urkel became Bruce Lee, the first time it was funny, but like the third time it was like stupid at that point. Remember he cloned himself and made Stefan a different entity, bro? Stefan was a different person, bro. They both existed in the same world. Mm-hmm. That ruins the whole purpose of Stefan. Maybe Jaleel White just got tired of doing that voice, bro. That's what I'm thinking. So, no, Die Hard, I mean, again, another movie where the guy takes the law into his own hands and has to survive, you know. But it's not like he's doing it because, you know, he wants to be a vigilante. He kind of was forced into it, you know. Mr. McClane. And I love how part 3 has the alpha Jeremy Irons is the brother or whatever of the dude from the first movie. Your name is Jesus? No, it's Zeus. Jesus.
That almost sounded like the Rack impression.
I mean, you know how much I like Jesus, man. I'm a big fan of Jesus. Praise Jesus. Now, you also put on here Dirty Harry. Now, there's like 4 Dirty Harry movies. So, you're talking about just Dirty Harry?
Dirty Harry, bro. Very first. Original.
Not Sudden Impact and fucking... there's 5, actually. And Magnum Force, and then this the original?
The original. 1971, baby.
Did he fire 6 shots or 5? I kind of lost track of myself.
Well, the thing, bro, with fucking Eastwood, bro, them... All his movies are alpha, bro. Even in old age, bro, he fucking made Gran Torino, dog. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
With the chinks.
The alpha races. Listen, get out of my face, zipperhead. I mean, you know, you're right. He does make alpha movies, bro. I mean, you know, obviously, $1 Million Baby, more recently. You know, he did that. I didn't see the movie. I meant to see it, and I never saw it. The movie that he put out this year that was supposedly... Oh, the name escapes me, bro. But he put out a movie this year that's supposed to be like based on a true story, but actually has the real people involved. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I may have heard rumblings about it, but I'm not too sure.
I think it's called... I'll look it up right now, bro. Hold on. I'm going to look it up right now because I didn't see the movie. Somebody right now is probably like screaming at me. How could you not know? Ah! I mean, I was going to see it and I never saw it. The Mule. I think it's The Mule. Let me see if that's the one, bro. No, that's not out yet. The 1517 to Paris. That's the one, bro. 1517 to Paris is supposed to be a movie where it's actually got the real people who were involved in it. Like, Right here, look, Spencer Stone himself, Anthony Sadler himself, Alex Starlaus himself. He used the real people, bro, for the majority of the movie to actually play their real selves. That's trippy, dude.
That is trippy. I may have to keep up to date with that shit.
It's a train attack movie that actually happened. They're playing themselves in the movie. How has that ever even happened before?
I don't think to that extent. Maybe he had like one character, you know, like guess like cameo. You know, you sometimes they'll have like the character from the true story like cameo in the film, but they're not actually playing the character. You know.
I guess you're right. Yeah, as a cameo. Yeah, exactly. Like Danny DeVito was in Man on the Moon, but he wasn't playing Danny DeVito. He was playing, George Shapiro, but he was also Danny DeVito on Taxi, which is where the real Andy Kaufman was. Right. So it all kind of fits together.
Right.
Now, I think I want to save the Tarantino ones for a different one, but you put on here, watching. I don't remember if you put it or I put it on. Well, you put Cool Hand Luke on here. Okay, now, what? Cool Hand Luke just reminds me of Dirty Harry.
In a way, it does. The thing about Cool Hand Luke is that I watched this film for some. I got hooked on it for some reason because I hadn't seen it before. I just recently had watched it, I think, a few years ago, and I watched it I think 3 times over because I just liked it. Obviously, with Paul Newman, bro, and George Kennedy and a lot of the older actors, especially George Kennedy, that. I guess I was expecting to like it, but I didn't think I would like it this much. And this came out in 1967, dog. So old movie. If you haven't really seen this, which I'm pretty sure a good chunk of you have, but I'm also certain a majority of you haven't, I would highly recommend it if you can find it or purchase it. It's basically about a man who is sentenced to prison, and he basically refuses to. What's the right word? I guess. He doesn't want to lay down to them, right? Is that the right word, basically?
He rebels.
He rebels, and I like those movies, bro. I mean, like Escape from Alcatraz, which is another one by our boy Clint Eastwood. So it's like I like movies like that. Shawshank. They're a bit different, but they're.
You like prison movies, bro.
Not for the reason that Cosmic probably likes them for, but
or for the reason Pride likes them, bro. Pride can't watch those movies without getting PTSD.
Pride's favorite documentary, bro, turned out.
Yeah, based on a true story, right?
No, but
turned me out. The part he's like, he wasn't my partner. That was my baby.
I just think like if you have time, Cool Hand Luke. It may not be what a lot of like the Stallone films are or the Arnold films are, but I still do think it's a good watch. And if you can, it's a bit slow, but if you can keep up with it, it's an overall good movie. There's some good quotes in there, man. I think people would enjoy it.
Before we close out, because we have so many movies to talk about, we're just not going to have any time. We're going to have to discuss them like in a future episode. We'll do a sequel episode to this. Rambo, bro. Like, I haven't seen Rambo in so long, and I have like the 5-pack on Blu-ray or the 4-pack or whatever. First Blood. I mean, fuck, bro. Like, it's everything you could ever want in an alpha movie, bro.
Again, I think I said this like 1,000 times in this. My dad put me onto this stuff, bro. So First Blood, we had this back on VHS, and I used to watch this. Like when I would have to go stay at my grandmother's, bro, that shit was in the shelf, bro. And as soon as I came back from school and I was in my grandmother's house, I would pop that shit in the tape player, bro, and I would just sit back and relax and watch it, bro. I don't know if I should have been watching that at such a young age, but it was a good movie, bro.
Whatever. I think we all did. It was good. So. When you were younger, did your dad or your grandma watch any of those Mexploitation movies?
My dad did, and I'm sure my grandmother on my dad's side. My grandmother on my mom's side, not so much. I don't know why.
Well, you said your mom was kind of whitewashed, though, right?
A bit, yeah. She's very much. It's hard to explain, but.
She doesn't have any gold teeth, thank God.
No. And fun fact, I didn't get to mention this earlier. She's a huge fan of Clint Eastwood, so she likes alpha movies, but just not the ones my dad and I like, Except for some of the, Clint Eastwood that he did back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious because those movies are all pretty alpha. I mean, they're all kind of the same thing. They're all the same thing, bro. There's a wedding at the beginning of the movie because there's always a wedding. then some like hit squad or some terrorist group invades the wedding and kills everybody, but they leave the main character alive, who's either the groom or the father of the bride, and then he goes and gets revenge, bro. That's pretty much what it is, bro. Like, Robert Rodriguez did a good job of making fun of that in Machete. Like, it pretty much is like one of those kind of movies, but they're all like that, bro. Or they have some luchadors or some shit in the movie, bro. It's always something like that.
Before we close out, bro, we have to end it on this quote. I could have killed them all. I could have killed you. In town, you're the law. Out here, it's me. Don't push it, or I'll give you a war you won't believe. Let it go. Let it go. That is alpha,
That is a good,
bro.
That is a good closing quote, bro. We'll come back and revisit this topic in the future, bro. I'm sure we will.
We didn't even talk about any of the Tarantino movies, or
We gotta save that for a different one, bro. There's too much to talk about.
too much, man.
Robert Rodriguez. I mean, dude, Robert Rodriguez himself, bro, has a collection of fucking alpha movies, bro. I mean, just El Mariachi, all those fucking movies, bro. There's so many of them.
And if you even want to go back farther, we can talk more about Charles Bronson. A lot of the old stuff that he did, like a lot of those old westerns, bro, are pretty badass. So, you know.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Tombstone, which is one of my most. I put it on the list actually. One of my most alpha movies. We didn't talk about the Dollars trilogy, also Eastwood. We just didn't have time. Top Gun.
Right.
But we'll come back and revisit this, bro. There's a lot of alpha movies. I mean, even Mission Impossible 1, I think, is pretty alpha. 1 and 3. 2 is okay. We didn't even talk about Hard Boiled, bro. The fucking... Don't forget the fucking Chow Yun Fat fucking... all those movies, bro. Like, all those movies, like Chow Yun Fat and John Woo, fucking A Better Tomorrow... Hard Boiled, fucking... Oh, there's so many of them, bro. Those Hong Kong action films. They're all like that. They're all alpha, bro.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, and then Chow Yun Fat plays Master Roshi.
Nice little fact there for the people who didn't know. How long is this right now, bro? Where are we at right now?
Almost an hour. Just with our recording. A Better Tomorrow, bro. Anyways, we're done. Plug whatever you want to plug, bro.
I do Dragon Ball on YouTube, so you can find me on YouTube at MJxTV. Sadly, I don't really talk too much about movies or music, but I'll probably be on these in the future if you want to hear more of my opinions on that stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Well, everybody remember to check out Geekdom101 on YouTube. World of Geekdom also on YouTube. Check out Emperor Big D on the Twitter. Facebook.com/Geekdom101. And I hope you all have a great day. And we'll talk more about, I'm sure on the Facebook page when I publish this, I'll get a lot of responses. We'll talk more about all this then. So talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Remember to take care of yourself and each other and watch more alpha movies. Put some hair on your nuts. See you later.